5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Truth, Beer, and Podsequences. So this is a podcast where my co-host and I listen to all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media, podcasts and media from the previous week, and then we give our version of the truth of how that went. We get together at the podcast host, and today we are back at Higher Gravity Summit Park. We give our version of the truth of those of that media, and hopefully there aren't too many consequences from the hosts of those other shows and content and podcasts and all that. So far, going into 2024, we're pretty safe from podsequences at this point. But I am Marco. I'm a taproom manager here locally, and that other voice you heard belongs to the Gnarly Gnome.
Hey.
Thanks, Gnome.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, too. I truly appreciate you being here.
Of course.
Everybody who's been with us for a little while or a long time knows that this show is hosted by myself and my co-host, Julia, who is the best co-host in Podcastlandia. And she's taking a break this week. She had some family stuff come up, and it is awesome to be joined by the Gnarly Gnome as my sole co-host for the evening.
Of course. I can't wait to read your show notes and see what you have to say about this week's shows.
Hold on, let me show you my notes.
Whoa, that's some big notes.
Thank you, sir.
Looks like a cookie.
Thank you. That's
a dong joke. Cookie, dong.
Yeah,
Listen to Cincy
Cincy
beer events.
Yeah.
It's a sister show. You call it a sister show, cousin show?
Sister.
Sister, cousin. Listen to that show. It's where they recap all of the local beer events for the week, the month, the year, the decade. They put them all in there, and you can see everything that's happening in Cincinnati beer and figure out what things you want to go to. And I'm going to say top event is Dong Cookies.
Correct.
Yes.
There might even be booby cookies.
We did not talk about booby cookies. We just talked about Dong Cookies.
We just talked about Dong Cookies.
Yeah.
And so Julia, shout out to Julia.
Shout out to Julia.
And the plan is for her to be back.
See, okay, I see. And now I see that little hand signal you did there. That was like a wind up. Let's try it again.
Yeah. The plan is for
next
her to
week
be.
She's going to be back. Oh, yeah.
Also, what is next week? No. What event is next week?
Oh, is that next week? Oh,
yeah.
I'm doing a live version of my live show.
Yeah.
Which sounds very confusing, but it's just more live, extra live. It's like you take a live show,
extra live,
and you put another layer of live on top of it. Going to be at West Side Brewing at 7 p.m. on Monday the 15th.
Woo!
Drinking heavily.
Awesome.
And trying.
Awesome.
The good thing about a live show, you don't actually have to hit record. If you don't hit record, it's still a show because people were there.
Right.
So it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Have you ever not hit record on a live show?
On a live show?
On a live, like the one where you're presenting to an audience.
Not that I could think of. I mean, I've definitely not hit record before, but I don't think it was a live show.
If you've done this any length of time, podcasting and recording of things, you have not hit record.
But the good thing about the weekly pint is if I don't hit some kind of a button, just nothing happens, and I can see nothing's happening.
Okay.
Nobody starts chatting. So
There's
I'm
prompts.
always like at least broadcasting out. So then you can pull that later for the actual like podcast.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm Marco. I'm a taproom manager here locally, and then we have the Gnome. Shout out to Julia.
I'm a drinker here locally. I drink a lot.
Woo! And so, like I said, we are back at Higher Gravity Summit Park.
So I this is not my first time sitting in on Truth or Podsequences,
No.
so I'm familiar with how the show goes. The problem is, normally when I show up, there's me, and I hang out, and I kind of interject when I feel like it. Marco is here doing his thing, playing his keyboard and whatever else is happening, and then there's normally Julia that keeps it all in line. She keeps things rolling. She keeps it actually as a show. Since she's not here, I don't really know what's going to happen.
No.
Right now. I'm already not wearing pants.
We did already dub this show the Sausage Show.
Yes. Yeah.
In Cincy Beer Events. Yeah,
That was
sausage show. So the thoughts and opinions on the podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with. That is for me.
Yeah.
That is for full-time jobs or higher gravity. The gnome is his own business entity and speaks for himself and maybe somebody else. I don't know.
All of my thoughts and opinions, they are representative of, was it Alexander Brewing? Is that who's doing the Dawn cookies?
I think it is.
I think it's they're representative of Alexander Brewing Company. Shout out to Alexandria. I need some pictures of the Dawn cookies if I don't make it.
I think it's a great thing. Dawn cookies.
I think it's awesome.
Who knows? Maybe later in the year, some people do a lot of things about women empowerment. Maybe there'll be a series on how to be a dominatrix.
Maybe, possibly. Let me ask you a question about Dawn cookies.
Okay.
So,
glad we moved on from dominatrix.
Do you have to eat all of the cookies before you get home? Or, I mean, my kids are still little. I don't know that they would recognize my dong drawings as dongs. Is it wrong to let your kids eat the dong cookies?
I mean, there's definitely an age where they can't really differentiate, what a shape of a cookie is.
Well, especially my poor drawing skills.
What's funny is that, like, Teddy Grahams, they were in shape of little teddy bears, thinking that kids would want teddy bears, right?
Sure.
But most of the time, you're giving it to a kid who doesn't give a shit what shape it is. They just want the fucking cookie.
See,
actually, some of them at that age just say, "Give me the fucking cookie."
Yeah, especially my boy, he is definitely at that age where he recognizes that it's a bear and he's going to bite his head off and then parade around the house with the severed carcass. Look what I did.
He's a Viking.
Yes, but I don't know if dong cookie. I don't know if he would. I don't know. I'm just.
Well, let me know.
I guess you have to eat the cookies.
Let us know live.
I think you have to eat the cookies by the time you get home. They have to all be gone.
Okay.
Can't bring.
I can't have them.
Can't put dongs in.
More
the
than
cookie jar.
likely have lactose in them somewhere, either the cookie or the icing.
That's probably true.
So I can't.
And if they don't, they probably taste horrible.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Yeah.
Tastes like cardboard or like oxidized beer.
Or like, well, no, won't do that.
Okay, very good.
Shout out to my mom and her cookies, but
wow,
won't make that joke.
Actually, hold on. I think I have a.
It's definitely not a button that I have. I only have 4 buttons. Julia took all her buttons with her. That was really fast for you to be able to access that. You just have that ready to go.
Well, I keep an air horn.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, I held on to one.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you to all of you who have been listening for a long time. Thank you to anyone who is new to the pod. Check us out. We'll tell you at the end of the show how to hit us up. You can read the show notes, as I'm sure all of you do, and figure out how to get to us. But no craft beer podcast would be a good one if we weren't actually drinking. We're not like those fake-ass podcasts that don't drink. They just tell you they're drinking something. They give you some bullshit tasting notes, and they're just, sipping on water that they had from their what is it, Kirkle or whatever it's called, the
Kirkle,
a Kirkle or a circle or whatever the fucking thing is where they
Stanley. I think they're Stanleys now.
Oh, Stanleys.
Stanleys are the
Stan Lee.
Stan Lee, he's dead. It's a cup.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
That people are, housewives are fighting over ones that are pink or purple or blue or whatever it is.
Which tap room in town would be the first one to release a signature Stanley?
Well, it has to be Madry, right?
See, I was going to say Ryan Geist.
You think so?
Like a Bubbles Stanley.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that would fly off shelves.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I'd line up for it. I don't even need a Stanley or Stanley. I don't need either one.
You don't need either one.
But I'd line up for both.
Yeah, very good. So what are we drinking? No?
Man, I can't read it again. This is something, Trillium, some kind of tractors.
Insert
farmers.
farming reference here is what it's called.
It's a hazy New England IPA. What's it
From
say?
Trillium? Really?
Yeah. Does it say,
That's so strange.
Does it say hazy or New England? What do they call it?
This is the Hazy
IPA, not New England. I haven't even tried it yet. Hang on. Tell me what you're drinking while I take a big old sip.
Well, those who have listened to the podcast before know that I have this when it's available, and it's available in cans. So I'm having Hop JuJu from Fatheads, the very highly and heavily awarded, much-deserved brewery, Fatheads Hop JuJu, and it's delicious.
This is good, too. I don't know that it's worth... I think I just drank about an ounce, and that probably costs $1.
Yeah.
But It's good. It's good beer.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's worth what I'm paying for it, but I don't know that many beers are worth $1 an ounce or whatever it costs up there.
Yeah.
But it's
I
fine.
don't know.
It's good. It's good beer.
Its cost is relative. Yeah. It's relative to the price that you have to buy it for, but cost is relative.
Sure. I mean, good. No judgment on any of the bars or restaurants that are charging that price for their kegs of Trillium, because that's how much they're paying for them. But
I think this will be a good experiment, though, because these are legacy hype beers.
Oh, yeah.
And so how fast our market goes through these kegs, each individual business can actually mathematically figure out, is it worth having them or not? And if you can move through something faster and get a larger, get a faster sell through, the margin is still going to be the same. Actually, more than likely. I mean, we can ask somebody like Jason, but the margin's still going to be the same. But if you can run through more beer faster, or if you have beer that's on tap that prompts somebody to buy more packaged beer,
right,
that might be a better investment versus bringing in some legacy hype beer.
Or if it gets people in the door, there's a lot of different factors that kind of go into it.
Yeah, but there's math involved and spreadsheets. You can definitely figure out if you want to go that into the weeds in it. Do you bring it in or not? And I think for the first opportunity, of course you do.
Yeah, you have to.
You
can't be the one that doesn't have it.
Right. Well, you can be. You'll be the one that nobody's at.
Right.
Yeah. So, but having said all of that, welcome everybody. And so let's see. What did we watch? What did we listen to? It is just after the end of the first week of January. We have a new National College Football champion.
Yeah.
Who cares? And it's kind of a slow week out in the podcast landia. We do have, from what my notes say, and I got my notes from Julia.
Right.
And what my notes say is we have 2 bits of content to talk about.
That's what I've got.
And
to be fair, I only technically listened to one of them. The other one I didn't go back and listen to.
Well, because you were...
I was there.
You were hosting it.
Yeah, I was there.
You were the host.
I guess I had headphones on. I was, in theory, listening.
So we have a Brew Skies Booze news that came out yesterday afternoon.
Yes.
And then we have the Weekly Pint.
Absolutely, which came out
yesterday
evening.
Last night. Evening is being kind.
It was on time.
Yeah. It was.
For once. I was very proud of myself for being on time.
It.
Which one do you want to start with?
I want to start with the Weekly Pint.
Okay. All right.
Let's start with so that is it's hosted. I don't know if you knew this, but it was hosted by you, the Gnarly No.
Technically, this is episode 198.
Ooh.
Versus next week, which is episode 200 of the Weekly Pint.
So when
nobody do the math. Just,
okay.
You'll figure it out.
Okay.
It'll all make sense eventually. Episode 198, it's called... actually, my notes have the wrong title. This was the original working title was, That's Not Bad, It Might Actually Be Good. And I don't think that's what
That's not what it was.
It was close to that. It was like...
something bad that might actually be good.
There you go. That's it. That's the show. Look at your notes.
How about that? Saw that?
That's right. On the show... we kicked things off. We talked about what I've been drinking.
Yeah.
And I had been to a couple new bars.
What are you drinking now? Yeah, you went to a couple new bars.
The first one was fine. Went to the Merchants Club down at Party Source. I don't have a lot of thoughts about that other than what I said on the show.
We spent a lot of time on the next one.
Yes, I have.
That was a lot of fun.
I have thoughts.
All right,
on the
let's
next
get into
one.
it. Woo!
All right. This was a little bar. Actually, I did the same thing. I did throw in a second one after I started talking about the third one. I threw in Third Eye and Groovy Baby that it's in 6 packs again. We'll kind of skip over that again. That's fine. It's great beer. Go get it. But the third beer that I talked about was from
third bar.
Third bar, third beer, third drink,
third drink,
third
okay.
thing.
Yeah.
King Corona in Westchester. I didn't know what I was walking into when I saw this place.
I-
It looks like a tumbleweed from
I
the
couldn't
outside.
tell what the hell it was because
I couldn't
I drove past it on my way to get to Sonder Tap House on Saturday night.
Right.
And I could see it, and as I driving to Sonder and from Sonder, I was like, "What in the hell is that?" And it was at night, so I couldn't see. And
So I had a very similar experience. I drove past it, and then on my way past it, I kind of looked over and saw that there were lights on inside. And I'm like, oh my God, that place is open again. There's something there. And I looked at the sign, like, KC, what is that? So while I was sitting at the bar, I pulled out my phone. I'm like, all right, let's see what this place is. And I pulled it up, and I'm like, oh, they just opened, a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever it is. King Corona, Latin something.
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I got to go check that out. So I quickly finished up, and I headed over to the king of all Coronas.
the king of all Coronas.
I walked in, and it feels, and I was trying to think of the name of this place on the show last night and just couldn't, for the life of me, pull it out of my butt. It's agave and rye. It feels like an agave and rye.
Yeah.
It's like lots of neon and like very simple kind of color scheme with neon on top of it. And then the menus. Oh, man, the menus.
So good.
So I don't want to just rehash everything I said on the show, but my cocktail, the bartender told me that the cocktail menu is incredible, even though it's rather large and varied, and that she can make everything on it, and she can make it all wonderfully. So I picked a cocktail, and she looked me dead at the eyes and said, yeah, I can't make that.
So I had a similar experience at a totally different venue. I walked into a GFS. I walked into a Gordon food store, and this is a couple years ago. I walked in a Gordon food store, and a guy that looks like Guy Fieri was there in the frozen section, clearly working for Gordon Food Services.
Maybe it's Guy's Food Services. Maybe it was him.
Hey. And he had like rings on and the real like sort of New York accent. He's like, "You looking for something? I'm gonna tell you. I've eaten everything in here. You looking for something? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what I like. I'm gonna tell you what I don't. I'm gonna tell you what you need to have. What are you looking for?" And I said, I need some mashed potatoes. You want mashed potatoes? I'm gonna show you. I got 2 option mashed potato over here. What do you need? And I was like, well, I think I want this one. Hadn't had that one. And I'm like, what is this shit?
See,
what the fuck just happened?
So and like when my bartender said that to me, I said, wait a minute, like you just told me 1 second ago that you can make everything on this menu and you can make it great. And they're all great cocktails.
Life is amazing.
And I'm like, you can't make that. And she's like, nope, you gotta, sales, you gotta sell things.
Fuck
and I'm
it.
like, look,
Whatever.
I've got a problem with that. I actually have a big problem with that. I don't.
Hold on a second. Everyone, Gnome's got a problem. Go.
Gnome has a problem.
Gnome has a problem.
Don't lie to me as a customer. It ruins the experience that I'm having with the people across the bar. Be honest with me. Like,
So-
look, like this
So
is
you want the bartender to say, you know what? I don't know, but let's find out together. And you go over and make the fucking cocktail.
yeah, maybe I can tell you how to make it.
Let's go.
I'll walk you through it, bartender. We
Yeah.
can do this together.
You know what? I've mixed so many different things. I haven't mixed that one. I'm going to do it right now for you. And you know what? If you don't like it, I'll buy you
Yeah.
something else.
Don't lie to me. Don't tell me that you've had everything if you haven't had it, because then I'm going to ask you a question about it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you can make everything if you can't make it, because I'm going
Said-
to ask you to make it.
Says Judy, right? Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining.
Man, I don't know what that is, but that's a great great analogy. It ruins everything that's going to happen from then on. It puts us off on the wrong foot. And
What was the cocktail?
It was a Pisco Sour.
Pisco Sour, yes.
Not a crazy cocktail, not that hard to do.
Can we get one here?
No, you got egg whites. Egg whites are the good
Not
problem.
legal.
Well, you can get like these artificial egg white things that are definitely able to be used. But
Okay.
yeah. But if you're not, I think this bartender in particular, the problem was she was uncomfortable with the egg whites. She had never made a cocktail with egg whites, which I get.
I gotcha.
There are a lot of people that haven't. But
Here goes some egg whites.
yeah, but so she called another bartender over, and he made the cocktail. I'm not sure if he'd ever made it before either, but it was fine. But they used a little not fresh lime juice, which kind of ruined the cocktail for me. So everything got off on the wrong foot. And then
This gets better.
My third bartender. So I was the only person sitting at the bar. Number one, there was one other table in the restaurant. I had 3 different bartenders while I was having my.
Well, everyone else had nothing to fucking do.
My 2 drinks. And,
Shit, the kitchen's just like, is this guy going to order something or
well,
not?
yeah, they asked me many times if I was going to order.
No.
Which we'll talk about that
someone
part
in the
after
kitchen
this
come out and
cocktail.
like, can I get you a cocktail? Can I
So,
make you something?
Yes, my third bartender, I'm fairly confident in saying that English was not his first language, and
Polish?
when it's definitely Polish. When I ordered my margarita, I ordered one of the specialty margaritas off the menu, and then he asked me if I wanted it on the rocks, and I said no rocks, just neat, no rocks, and he poured me a draft margarita, a house margarita, I'm assuming, in a big rocks glass full of rocks. But it was good. It was a good cocktail. It was fine.
Yeah, there was.
But not what I ordered.
Well, you should have been more clear.
Well, I tried.
Yeah.
Tried
Like
very hard.
no rocks.
No rocks.
Just neat.
No rocks.
Well, it's coming out of a tap. You're getting rocks, buddy.
As soon as I saw him and I saw that blank look on his face and he picked up the rocks glass, I'm like, oh, this is going somewhere else. And so I was in for the ride. It was fine. At that point, I'm like, okay, let's see what you do, buddy. Good job.
It gets better.
But
it gets better.
The best thing about King Corona in Westchester is the menu. They kept asking me if I wanted to order something, and I had just eaten. But if I had not, I would have eaten. They have a very wide variety of things on the menu. Lots of things you would expect.
Would you say they have
Latin grill?
plethora
Plethora
of menu items?
Yes. And
do you even know
things,
what that plethora means?
There was lots of the things that you would expect at a Latin grill, whatever they call it, Latin experience. Except
that was one of my nicknames in high school.
Page 5, which was El Sushi.
Yes, indeed.
And El Sushi, actually,
El Sushi.
we're gonna pull the menu up right now.
El Sushi.
El Sushi.
I'm sure there are many, all-inclusive resorts in Mexico that have El Sushi.
There's El Sushi. Oh man. Okay. All right. We're gonna get. It went away.
This
okay.
is so amazing. Like I even made the comment: "Is this real life?"
Okay.
This is so good.
When you first pull up their website, the thing that pops up, it says "Taste beyond the boundaries."
Yeah.
I don't know. Go back. Hang on.
Yeah.
Don't
just stick to tasting the rainbow. Taste beyond the boundaries.
The boundaries. It doesn't say beyond the boundaries of what, but beyond the boundaries of something.
Yeah.
It says explore King Corona Latin. Oh man, explore. This is a direct quote. Explore King Corona Latin and Cantina. Latin and Cantina to uncover.
Is it N-E-N?
And like a little and sign.
That's terrible.
Ampersand, I guess. To uncover the authentic essence of Latin America, where it keeps changing on me. Stay there. Where flavors, sounds, and colors come alive, offering you an online experience that captures the passion, traditions, and heritage. This was written by AI. It captures the passion, traditions, and heritage of this captivating region. Join us on a journey of discovery where the fiesta never ends and the spirit of Latin culture is always within reach. A person did not proofread this. This was written by a machine.
That's so.
Then the next thing that scrolls, it says that's a menu for kings and queens. Our menu is a testament to the rich and diverse flavors of Mexican cuisine, elevated to the highest level of luxury. From the moment you open the menu, you'll be greeted by a selection of dishes that are a harmonious blend of tradition and innovation.
This is, by the way, in the same basically parking lot as that you can get to a Chewy's.
Yes. Chewy's. You can park your car and have appetizers here, and then go for a drink at Chewy's, and then you can head over to P.F. Chang's and get your dessert.
Yeah, and if you want,
and then Bravo.
Yeah, and then if you want, you can go hit some golf balls.
Yes, and then go buy a gun at Bass Pro Shop.
And if you really wanted, have a 32-degree beer with ice chips floating on it over at Twin Peaks.
Yes, all within walking distance. They pride themselves on using the freshest ingredients to create the mouth-watering dishes and drinks with Mexican mixology, capitalized, both of those words, Mexican mixology, it's a thing, that are inspired by the rich and diverse traditions of Latin America. Good Lord. Okay, so that's the main stuff. But it's hard for me to get to the menu because I'm getting distracted by everything here.
This is so good.
See our gallery. I don't want that.
Don't worry about it.
I want your menu.
It's good. It's good.
All right. So speaking of all of those traditional Mexican flavors and ideas and tasting colors, we got to get to El Sushi.
Yes, the El Sushi.
All right, El Sushi. El Sushi. All right. Spicy tuna roll. Fine. That's pretty.
Pretty Mexican.
Pretty sushi for Cincinnati, I guess. Spicy
Pretty
salmon
sushi
roll.
for a Mexican.
Here we get into some of the other things. Oh, sausage brisket roll.
Yeah.
You can get this for $16 at King Corona. It is sausage brisket, pickled jalapeno, roasted peppers, crispy onions, and yum yum sauce.
Yeah.
All right. That is a thing.
Very Mexican.
That is a
I grew up
tradition.
My parents from Texas. We like to say, as the history goes, the border moved on us, way back, as Chris Berman would say. Mother just joined me for a visit. Never taught me how to make a yum yum sauce.
She did not make yum yum sauce.
We did not make yum yum sauce.
It's kind of like putting Cincinnati style chili on your Spätzle if you're German.
Maybe that would help the chili.
Look, it's fine if sausage brisket roll does not satisfy your Latin American cravings. How about the hot Cheetos roll?
Yeah.
This is shrimp tempura, avocado, cucumber, cream cheese, jalapenos, deep fried, and then topped with crab, spicy mayo, Valentina Morisco sauce, and hot Cheetos. I'm sorry. It might be good. It might be good. And I'm not saying that any of this food is bad.
No, we have to go.
I'm not saying that any of this tastes bad.
No, we have to
I'm
go.
just saying that this is weird.
We have to go. And we have to take microphones.
What about the Tres Quesos roll? That is Argentinian sausage with Munster cheese, queso fresco, roasted peppers, deep fried, topped with Chihuahua cheese.
Chihuahua. Chihuahua cheese?
And Valentina.
First of all, we wouldn't say Chihuahua cheese. We would say Chihuahua queso.
It does not say that, though.
Yeah.
It very specifically says Chihuahua cheese.
Chihuahua.
Birra roll. Birra. Cucumber. Pickle. Picle.
Picle. Yeah.
Jalapeno.
Yeah.
Avocado.
Also one of my nicknames in high school.
Avocado. Cream cheese. Deep fried. Topped with Chipotle mayo.
I gotta tell you, growing up, I never knew there was fucking cream cheese. I didn't know cream cheese was a thing.
There's just so many little things. Like, there's a section just called Los Tacos. And the first one is bao bun pork belly. It's 2 pork belly bao buns, guacamole, spicy barbecue, and our signature salsa jalapenos and pickled onion. How is that a taco? I don't understand. I don't understand anything about this menu. But I want to try it all. It all sounds delicious.
No, and
Los cocktails.
It all sounds delicious.
Yeah, this
almost seems as if not only AI wrote all of this, but AI
created the menu. See, I was thinking it would be like if me and my wife tried to open up a restaurant, and she's like, "Look, I know what this area needs. Like, look at this parking lot. You've got your PF Chang's, you have Bravo, you have Shuey's, you have all of these things. We need like a really good, authentic, like a good Latin American cuisine. Like that's what we need here." And I'm like, okay, the science. I see your demographics, and I see all these things that I get what you're looking for here. but this is our restaurant. We're going to open a restaurant. We need sushi. We need throwing all these things that I just want in a restaurant onto the menu. And then you throw it into AI and be like, all right, make us a menu. And it does. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to say that they're going to close, but it's a weird place. It's very hard to understand.
All right, so we're going, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Is there, like, all right, let's see if there's any kind of kids, L kids. Let me look for L kids.
El Kids, yeah.
Ceviches, El Sushi.
Or
Street tacos.
El Niños.
Street tacos and
It would
Los
be El
Tacos.
Kids because El Niños do.
It's two separate sections, street tacos and Los Tacos.
Yeah, because
cocktails.
yeah. The street and Los.
I love that they have a section for Los cocktails, and then a separate section for mixed drinks, and then a separate section for more drinks, and then a separate section for classic margaritas.
Holy shit.
And then a section for beer and wines.
Holy mafuck.
Soft drinks. No kids menu though.
All right, well don't hide your kids.
Hide your kids.
Yeah. Take your wife.
Hide your
Hide
kids.
your kids,
Bring
take
your
your
wife. My wife could annihilate some of this stuff on here. This is right up her alley. I don't know.
Great.
I don't know what Johnny Dip is, but it's made with chopped shrimp, pico de gallo, and melted cheese. Yep.
Sounds good.
Give it to me.
actually. I can't eat it, but it sounds good.
That's true. You know, can we get the Johnny Dip? No cheese, please.
Oh, that would be
all
just,
of
that
all
would
of
just
this.
pico and chips.
Well, and chopped shrimp.
Oh,
in
and
the
chopped
pico.
shrimp. Yeah.
Pico is shrimp in it. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm telling you, everything on this
Love
menu
that.
looks great.
Love that.
Oh man, I'm getting lost in the menu. We're way into the weeds already. We have more to talk about.
Yeah, we got one other pod, but this is great.
But
we're gonna go make just a bunch of content in this area, and the new Bass Pro Shop has announced that they're opening.
Yeah, and there's a restaurant in there that I don't know that you'll be able to get a drink there, but I think you're gonna be able to get a drink there.
Oh, that'll be awesome. And I saw online this past weekend that on social media that you can go swimming in the tanks.
Well, you can do that at all of them. You just get in trouble.
Yeah, and then somebody decided to go swimming in the tanks, and when they didn't stick the landing, so they actually knocked themselves out when they fell out of the tank.
Yep. Out of all of the Cincinnati podcast / beer media scene, who would we choose to peer pressure into going swimming in the tank?
You know who I would pick.
I don't.
It's Jangle.
Jingle would be good.
No, you're saying Chris.
No. I was.
Beth.
No. I was thinking somebody that would be.
I bet we could get Joe to do it.
We could convince Joe that it's okay.
I bet we could convince Joe that it's okay.
Yep. We could send Joe into the tank.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun too, because Caroline would be telling him not to.
Caroline.
And then, no, it's okay. Marco
No,
said it
she
was
would.
okay.
No, she's like, no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Octopi. We talked about octopi on the show too.
We did talk about octopi. That's a big deal.
That is a really, really big deal, but also one that on one hand, I don't give two shits about. On the other hand, it really hurts my feelings to see this happening. On the other hand, I'm kind of excited about it. Like, there's those three different sides that all just kind of come.
We only have
head to
two
head.
hands, so what else is excited?
It's related to cookies.
Okay, very good. So, yeah, I totally get it. It's huge contract brewer. Huge
The
brewer.
biggest, probably the biggest.
Huge brewer, period.
Biggest contract brewer in the country, right? Gotta be.
Sure.
I guess we don't really have stats for that, but I think
No,
so.
but this is Truth, Beer, and Consequences. It's our
Gotta be.
truth.
A really big contract brewer. They've brewed 4 places here in town. They've brewed for places all over the country.
All over the country.
They make Untitled Art as their brand.
Yep,
Which is
they're
also
there.
a huge brand.
And really good.
Yeah, great.
They don't fuck it up.
Yeah, great stuff. And that now is not American.
It is now Japanese owned.
Yep. And the Japanese are coming. They're coming here, and they're going to make more Japanese beer here in the United States.
Yeah.
And pretend that it's still Japanese.
I think, yeah. That's, yes, Correct.
which makes me feel strange. I don't like people pretending that something comes from somewhere when it doesn't come from somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
It
How does it make you feel in your cockle shells?
it tingles my cockle shells.
Okay,
Gets them all tightened up.
tighten the cockle shells.
Cockle shells are flowers for anybody that did not listen to last week's show.
That's a last week's show reference. Thank you.
Yeah. Did we actually say in the show that they were flowers, or did she
Well,
cut that part
it depends on if you're a Patreon or not, and go to Truth Beer Pod and become a Patreon. And what happens is you actually get to listen to. Last week, it actually wound up being over a half an hour of extra content, and that's the content that you really want. Like you get the
free stuff sucks. The other stuff's good.
Well, you get the free stuff, and you're like, well, that was okay. But if you ever get the stuff that's not free, well, that's the stuff. It's the uncut stuff,
Right.
and that's the truest stuff.
It is very true. Cockle shells and all.
Correct. Boob cookies.
Dong cookies.
Yeah.
We'll see what all she cuts out of this week's episode.
So we got the octopi, we got the El Sushi.
The last story was a big local one.
Yes, BJ's.
No, BJ's. We didn't even talk about that on the show.
Yeah, well,
Because
that's fine.
it's a month out of the actual news.
And it's a fart. It's like a purr.
It feels.
I don't want anybody to be without a job. I just want to say that. But the fact that
I think from what I understand, most
gonna
of,
happen.
if not everybody that was there, was shifted around to other locations.
okay, sure,
From my understanding.
good. Let's hope that's the case.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I think they were running on a very small crew there, anyways, already. No.
I don't know. I haven't been there in a year.
Well, you're saying no, like you do know.
I don't know.
I think they all landed somewhere. I think.
Good. I hope.
I hope. Whether or not they stay at that place.
Well,
or
they had plenty of notice to the fact
It's-
that mall was sort of in flux. And
it was
all
not in
this other
flux. It
bullshit.
closed last year. The mall closed. The mall went away last year.
Yeah.
Like we knew that the mall was done, but there was hope that somebody else was going to come in and put some kind of development in there.
They are.
No, they won't. My understanding is, no, they still want to go forward with the project, but are having trouble getting funding together to get this project.
Well, that
to
is a
happen.
no. Then
Well,
how do you?
that's
how do-
what I'm
how do you-
saying.
how do you buy a property and are going to go forward with the project, and then they're like, we ran out of funding.
Part of my understanding of why BJ's had to close was because the mall itself can no longer keep water and electricity going to all of the places. What I heard, whether that's true or not, we'll see. But BJ's sad for people that have like a connection to that location, but was not a news story on this week's Weekly Pint.
No, it
we
wasn't.
talked about Bad Tom Smith.
Hey, Bad Tom Smith.
Bad Tom Smith and their new facility that they're not talking about yet. So this is only the second place that you'll hear about it, other than the actual show that we were talking about.
Many people, I think, have to be like me, like, oh, Bad Tom Smith. Okay.
They're still around, right?
Yeah, they're still around. How about that? Good for you.
This will be how many different Bad Tom Smith locations have existed? Here's your trivia question. How many have there been? Hang on, let me count while you're counting.
All right. I'm gonna go over what I actually think. I'm gonna go 4.
This will be the 5th.
Wow. Okay.
So they had their original location, which was over by Terry's Turf Club. Then they opened up their tap room over in Madisonville, which is still there. Then they opened their production facility in Batavia. They opened up their Ohio City tap room up in Ohio City, up in Cleveland. And then this will be their 5th location over wherever it may be.
Nice. Wow. Okay. Well, salute to you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's pretty wild. They are one of the city's oldest breweries. They opened... Oh, and then now I got to try to find notes, even though my notes are all messed up. Okay, so technically, they opened at the very beginning of 2013. Like, I'm talking January 1st. Like, I think they might have started making that beer on New Year's Eve and finished it on... think they might have finished the beer on January 1st. So either very, very late 2012 or very early 2013. That's when these guys opened up. That puts them at one of the oldest breweries in town, like easily one of the oldest breweries in town. And they're still kicking, evidently, and looking to grow and looking to build a restaurant and a bourbon and tequila tasting room. It's interesting to me.
Okay, good. I like bourbon and tequila. I like beer.
It sounds like a great place, right?
I also have to eat.
Yeah, and who knows what the menu will look like? El Sushi? Maybe?
El Sushi.
El Sushi.
El Sushi. Definitely should be on the menu.
Do you have any other thoughts about Bad Tom?
No.
All right, let's
take a break.
Yeah, gotta take. Oh yeah, I gotta finish my beer.
All right,
Fall behind. Let's take a break.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Truth, Beer, and Consequences. So we just finished the wrap-up of the Weekly Pint, and now, Noam, are you ready?
We refreshed our drinks, too.
Yes, we did.
Did
Actually,
you get the same thing?
Let's. Well, no, I didn't.
Me either.
Well, I got the Imperial Headhunter, which I had, but I didn't. Previously, I had Hot JuJu.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah.
So I went to this one. Still staying with Fatheads. And what do you have?
I went way different. I went with
Way.
cider.
Way different.
The West Cider, Best Cider, as Craft Parenting Pod would say.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not the best cider. Best cider is still fish logs, but
Wow.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. Different type of cider. A little more lighter, refreshing, kind of zippier. It's good.
Good. Glad it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
So what we're going to do is next is Brew Skies
Booze
News.
Although I wrote Brews News. It's not that anymore. That was one of their names, though, right?
Was it Brews News?
I think for a while. They went through lots of different names. It was Barstool Perspective.
Yeah, Barstool
Brews
Perspective.
News, Booze
That
News.
was dangerous.
They get very confused. But I, whatever. You guys know the show. This is Brett and Mike, and they sit around and talk about the news in the industry, whatever the industry means anymore.
And sometimes you.
Sometimes me. Yeah, that was...
You were on the year-end recap.
I
and
did.
a couple of episodes
Yep.
before that.
Yep. And I did get a shout-out on this episode. It was... Where was it? They were talking about... So at the beginning of the show, they started talking about Patreon. And they addressed that evidently Patreon people expect something from Patreon. That somehow Mike decided that Patreon is just to get laid.
Right.
And then they,
Right.
I think, if I interpreted this right, I think they then offered me sex.
Correct.
I think that's what happened.
That's pretty much the way that went.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
And then at some point, they gave a shout-out to Elijah,
Yes.
Patreon supporter, who, thank you, Elijah, Patreon supporter
he
for us
didn't.
as well.
He did not get offered sex, though.
No.
I think
and neither here. He didn't get offered sex here either. But thank you, Elijah. We can be wingmen, but we're not offering you sex.
Yeah, I'll high five you while you're having sex with somebody.
Nice. Very good.
We did call.
That's supportive.
It's
That's a
supportive.
friend
Like,
right
good
there.
job, man. We did call Elijah when we needed opinions on tying people to railroad tracks.
Correct. We did.
Go back to episode whatever that was.
Yeah, episode whatever.
Julia can chime in as she's editing.
And this is
That
where
was-
Julia chimes in.
Right here. Think she did it?
I bet she does.
So they then kick things off with the question of the week, which they answered at the end of the show. But they started off with the question of the week. What is your New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
Actually, nope, that's not accurate. They started off with what is your favorite Bible parable?
Yes.
And then followed that quickly up with what the hell is a parable?
Yes.
And Mike decided it was just something cool about Satan.
Right. Well, I don't know. There's got to be something cool in the Bible about Satan.
But the actual question of the week was, what's your New Year's resolution? Do you make New Year's resolutions?
No.
I don't really either.
I don't.
If you were going to, what would it be?
Well, that's actually, it's so funny. You posed it in a hypothetical. If I was going to make one,
Yeah.
what would it be? And then it ends up becoming my de facto New Year's resolution. I don't really make them. I don't really.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why I should in the first place. Because to me, the new year, yes, it represents a new calendar year, but it may not represent necessarily something as a benchmark in my either career or personal life.
Okay.
I look more to things in my career or personal life that happen more on. I mean, you could almost call it like in business they call it a fiscal calendar.
Sure.
Like some businesses, their fiscal year ends in October or whatever it is.
Right.
Like some of those things I think are more like or more in the vein of make them as you go through life, and then you look back and say, I started this, or I wanted to do this, or I wanted to accomplish said whatever.
Right.
I think in this new year, honestly, if I want to pick something really easy right off the rip, is that we said as a Cincy Pod Squad, we're going to do the Flying Pig with one of our Pod Squad friends, Chris from Shift Beers. I have yet to even buy my shoes, which I am committed to doing, not just the shoe buying, but the Flying Pig. I need to get in that and be ready for this because I don't know what leg I'm going to have to do.
Right.
And I'm committed to doing whatever it is anybody else doesn't want to do, whether it's the first leg, second leg, last leg, whatever it is. These legs range in between 5.2 miles and 7 point whatever the fuck. And some of them are all uphill, which is silly to say because you eventually have to go downhill.
Right.
But some of them are extremely hilly, but 5.2 miles, and some of them are just a little bit longer, but 7 point whatever the fuck. So I need to get into the form to where I can accomplish whatever it is the rest of the pod squad that we're doing this with doesn't want to do, whether it's the 5.2 hilly part or the 7 point whatever longer part. And I'm committed to doing that, and that's the easy thing for me. I have other things in career and life that I've already, made in my head changes that I want to make, that I am actively working on. But the one that strikes me the most as the most impending is I need to get my hammies and my glutes ready to go do this.
It's also first quarter of the year, so I mean it's impending.
Yeah, I need to get my hammies and my glutes ready to do this.
I was hoping for something funnier. I was hoping something like Dong Cookie related, but that's fine.
Well, I mean,
I'll accept that.
We can go do that too.
That's fine. Yep. Dong Cookies. That's my New Year's resolution.
So that's yours?
Yeah,
Dong Cookies?
Yeah, so Dong Cookies at some point.
Okay, very good.
I just learned about that tonight, so that's...
Yeah, listen to our sister pod, Cincy Beer Events, and you too can put on your calendar the adult cookie making class, the Dong Cookies.
Dong Cookies. Don't call them adult cookies. Dong Cookies. They're Dong Cookies.
Well, some of them could be vajayjays, or some could be boobies, or some could be like ass cookies or
that's
whatever.
Fine. I mean, we're accepting of all cookies, but Dong Cookies are the best cookies. Did you know the beer words that they were throwing out there in that segment where they were talking about these?
I think I got all of them.
Okay. Were you surprised how many Mike got? Because I think he got two of the 1, 2, 3,
I think if we were
6.
stretching, he got two.
So the words they were trying to figure out if Mike knew what they meant. Crispy boy.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. You knew what that was, right?
Oh, yes.
Stovepipe.
Yep.
Milkshake or smoothie beer.
Definitely.
Which I do think he got that one. The milk pour.
Yes.
Which was one of my favorite parts of the show. Him drinking his schooner with two hands. Like he was drinking a bowl of milk.
Yes.
That was awesome. Boss pour, which was a new term for me, but I understood it right away. And then porch bomb, which...
Of course.
I also appreciated his description of it's just hanging on your porch getting bombed.
Right.
Porch bombed.
Like, I think that is sort of a reason to go and watch this, is because although he may not have gotten all of them right, being a professor, a drinker, and a beer historian, he makes sense in a lot of the
almost all of them.
in a lot of the leaps that he takes. These are What is it called when you put together things and you form? Is it a hypothesis prior to a theory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his way of going about it is very smart.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed listening to
Wrong most of the time.
but yeah, he only knew 2 of them. He only got it right 2.
And he teaches a class on beer. just saying.
Well, I don't think that there's a segment on Crispy Boys.
Apparently not. Apparently not. Maybe next semester.
I came up with a few of my own words. That
Let's go.
I think people.
Are you
going to
test me?
I am. I think
awesome.
you should get most of these. There's a couple that were kind of new to me too. That were at least one that was new to me.
Do we have any audio or imaging to introduce the?
No, I'm just gonna beer words. That's all I got.
All right, great.
I don't have any. I have 4 buttons, and 2 of them are the same thing.
Yeah.
So I can't help you. The very first one, decoction. I think this is one of those things that, as a beer nerd, you should know about decoction. Do you actually understand, and can you quickly describe decoction?
So, the way I understand it is you're taking some of the liquid from the mash, which is not wort, if I'm not mistaken, at that point, and you're moving it to the boil kettle to heat it up to actually create this Maillard reaction, and then you're sending it back to the mash,
right?
And then continuing to rest, and you can do that at different scales of temperature, and that creates different enzyme reactions.
In theory, historically, you would hold the mash at different temperatures to let other enzymes release or whatever. I don't know that's necessary anymore, but it's a traditional method.
Traditional, but it's not.
Yeah, it's
not necessary.
It's a geeky thing.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'll give you that one.
Thanks.
Ding. There's a little button that I don't have. What about? And I'm gonna try to find the best way to pronounce this word. The cicerone. What is a cicerone? A cicerone.
A cicerone is actually an achievement, a certification that is essentially the mirror image of a sommelier to wine.
Oh, you got it.
And that
it's
program,
not a pizza topping.
That program,
sausage and cicerone,
actually is based out of Chicago.
It is. It's I'll give you that one. Here's a good one. What does it mean, and how does it happen when your beer is skunked?
Most of the time, that happens when a beer becomes light struck.
Light struck. It's there. I've heard a lot of people pick up a beer and be like, "Oh, this one's just skunky," and it's like, "Oh no, that's just alcohol. That's boozy." Or, oh, no, that's hops. That's something else.
Right.
But the descriptor of skunky has become lost over time.
Correct.
What about danky?
Danky.
What does danky mean?
Yeah, so that's a cool term that, I mean, in the way I interpret it, means that the
smells like my grandma used to smell.
The hop profiles, are way more throwback than they are in this day and age.
What do they smell like?
They smell like weed.
Like weed. There we go. Dank weed.
Old cannabis.
Yep. It's legal. You can smoke it. You just can't buy it unless you have a card.
Yeah, I don't.
Juicy.
I'll have to use yours.
What does juicy mean?
Juicy. So that's another hop profile sort of. It's where you take. It's a lot of times in beer, you end up taking a process, and then the end result is the way that you describe said end result. So, taking the process of applying hops to a beer in order to get the fruity profiles from that hop without actually extracting. By heating the alpha acids, creates this juicy profile to where a beer ends up tasting like in the vein of juice like pineapple, in the vein of juice like guava, in the vein of juice like different fruit esters.
The best description for New England IPAs and why they are what they are, and why they're so exciting, and why these flavor profiles were new and exciting is on Brew Skies, the actual podcast, the Brew Skies Happy Hour.
Yeah.
Go back and listen to the Jim Cook interview.
Yep.
And get into that.
Great explanation.
I have two more. One
Let's
of them.
go.
One of them is
Did I get that one?
yeah, I'll give you that one. Ding, ding.
Thanks.
This one is a good term, one that was new to me, but
Okay.
when I started thinking about it, it made
I'm nervous.
sense. A beached whale. What is a beached whale?
I'm going to say, now this one, I'm going to say I'm taking a guess.
This is definitely a slang term.
A beached whale is a big beer that you've cellared that has gone bad.
That's a good guess. That is not what I stumbled across, but that would make sense. Their description was at the end of a big bottle share, and you get up the next morning, and you start cleaning up bottles, and you find a bottle, some kind of a whale that somebody cracked open at the end of the night, and everybody was just too drunk, and it just didn't get finished.
You've got 3/4
You
of a
wasted it.
whail that you have to dump because
it's a
it's
beached
just
whale.
fucking done. That's great.
It's a great
That's a great term. Again, I think just like Mike, like my hypothesis was pretty good.
Yeah.
However, not matching the actual
Yes,
term.
yeah. That was
So
that was the new one for me.
So that's a no on my part. That's
And then
fine.
the very last term that I threw on there that I think people need to understand, even if they're understanding it for themselves, that nobody seems to understand anymore, is what is craft beer. Because
Oh fuck.
look what has happened. Look where we are. And I think that very few people either understand for themselves, which I think is the more important part of what craft beer is, or for the industry what craft beer is. So for you, Marco, what is craft beer? What is craft beer?
Wow, that is amazing. I think craft beer is beer made from a brewery, and this is where I think people are gonna fucking throw knives at me. A brewery conglomerate where the purpose is meant to be true to the beer itself, and
I like that.
and however,
Does ownership factor in at all as far as what that owner is or what that conglomerate is?
it does. I believe it does, and I believe it does not by the BA, the American BA standard, but I think that it does to where, and this is another one where people are going to throw daggers at me.
Sure.
If Wicked Weed is still making pernicious in the way that they used to make pernicious,
Right.
in the purpose and the intent, then that is still craft beer to me.
I disagree. I think that Wicked Weed is a great example. There can be a bottle of Wicked Weed, one of their great sour beers, beers.
And
Great-
by the way,
I
I'm giving them latitude.
I
I
will-
actually don't. I'm contradicting my own self. I
Yeah.
don't think they're craft beer, but I think where my latitude is going is to the people that work there.
sure. I get that.
The people that work there they're not at the AB InBev facility.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're not at the ones like
They're not at the big one.
they're not at the big
They're
one.
still at one.
They're still at one.
Yeah.
And so for me, those people are still crafting.
I get that. My argument for that would be that you can take a bottle of Wicked Weed pre AB InBev. It's great beer, still a great beer. Put it on a shelf, and then the next day, AB InBev buys Wicked Weed. That same beer sitting on that same shelf is no longer craft to me, because craft means something more than just the liquid.
I'm willing to change my definition.
No, I'm not asking you to change your definition. I'm offering my argument to your
But
definition.
I do think that the people with the boots in the brewery.
I have no issue with people that work at breweries that are not craft breweries. No issue with them. I respect what they do. I think it's important. I think we need them. But they're not craft.
Well, I don't.
They are.
I don't disagree.
They are working a craft, but it is not a craft brewery.
Yeah, I you hit me with a good one, and
I love this idea of what is craft beer.
No, but you hit me with a good one, and I'm not wishy-washy, but I am willing to leave. I'm willing to be open to discussing this, because to me the intention is so important, and then but also it's a people thing.
Yeah.
And but I'm also not disparaging the people that work at the breweries that produce massive amounts of beer. You know, I'm a good friend that we know that just has grown in his
he's great guy.
Process.
I drink the company that it works for. I drink a lot of their beers,
but
it's not a craft brewery.
It's not.
Even though there are people there working a craft.
Yeah,
it's not a craft brewery.
It's not. It's not. But because I think even our American BA, the Brewers Association, there are breweries that produce amounts that are under that aren't members.
Right.
So those breweries still can be craft. And so I don't know. I definitely think intention and style,
I see where you're going with that.
and you know the caring for beer above everything else is a silly notion to me, because what that does is that it doesn't play into account the fact that
that
doesn't, like, Urban Artifact may give off the impression that what they create is above anything else. However, they change what's in a beer or a named beer based off of what, let's say, fruit they can get this year.
Right.
So it's got to be, there's still leeway. There's still fluidity there.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about the actual product in the glass when I say fluidity. I'm talking about understanding you can be true to the product and your intention, but calling something pinwheel and changing it from kumquats to oranges is fine, as long as you're going to present to me exactly what you want to present to me.
Right.
And this is the other part. If it doesn't meet your quality standards, it never hits market. And
there's a lot of levels too, and then treating your employees a certain way, treating your community a certain way. Like there's lots of things that make a craft brewery a craft brewery. But it's a good answer. I'll take it. I'll take your answer. I'll give you all of them. That's fine. 100%. A+.
Thanks, buddy.
What I have a couple other random notes. What notes
Let's
do you
go.
have from the episode?
I think
we learned that Brew Skies, they are the kings of jerking.
yes.
Yeah, they are the kings of jerking.
There's some. If you want, there. I don't know how I want to say this. There's a discussion about masturbation
In every episode.
Yeah. So it's there, and it's not just a one-off quip. There's a discussion about masturbation.
They also let us know that they would like to bring back the guillotine.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think what our listeners would find is silly is that no, and if you listen long enough, you know that we're not joking about the masturbation. You may think we're joking about the guillotine, actually not. Not joking about the guillotine.
Yeah, the guillotine conversation went on just about as long as the jerking off conversation did.
Yes, 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 it did.
We also learned that P. Diddy is Batman.
So I think what's happening is that it's one of those pocket responses. You gotta be able to have some pocket responses.
Sure.
This show has pocket responses, but when it becomes a crutch, you may lose a little bit of the effect and audience.
Sure.
We'll just see. Pocket response or crutch. P. Diddy. For now, pocket response funny.
I liked it. I think it was an honest answer to the question. That's what made it
Why
so
not?
funny.
Yes.
For me. I have a random quote written down that I don't know where it came from
Let's
in the
go.
episode. Farming is hard.
Farming is hard
Farming
because
is hard.
Well, so that goes in reference to the fact that the tequila market has been on this fucking boom ever since the guy from ER.
P. Diddy. I think that's where the P. Diddy quote came from.
Was P. Diddy?
Yeah, P. Diddy, yeah. You know the guy that played Batman? P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, yeah, the guy that played Batman.
Yeah.
Ever since he sold his tequila company for $1 billion.
Right.
And as they say, affordably priced tequila, that's their bash at the fact that it's actually not affordably priced.
Right.
And also,
You should be able to go and get a great bottle of tequila for $20. Like that should be a normal thing.
it should be a normal thing. And when you go on to many of the different tasting videos, there are people that do amazing tasting videos that are professionals in the business of tasting wine, of tasting beer, of tasting tequila.
You're speaking of my YouTube channel, are you?
Yes. So when you go on to these channels, Casa Amigo rates very poorly.
That's the Batman tequila, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah. ER
Would have been a better name, like just like list them all.
and
Batman,
he was done.
ER,
He was
Ocean's
done in
11,
he
tequila.
he was done in ER very early. Like, what is it, season 3 maybe?
Sounds right to me. Yeah, looking at my notes here on
Yeah,
my
whatever.
ER watching.
But the point is that the tequila boom was happening, and so what happens is they have to. It's like futures, so they tell the farmers of this blue agave, hey, we're fucking skyrocketing, and so we need this much. And then what happened is now there's a slowdown, and the tequila prices are not dropping yet. It's going to be probably a while before tequila prices drop. But now the farmers are going to sit on all this fucking agave that they are farming for people who actually aren't going to end up buying all their fucking harvest.
Well, it's similar to some of the things we see happen throughout history in the bourbon industry because you have to sit on barrels, except it's happening on the farming level. The people that aren't really getting the profits from the end product, they're getting the least amount of money at the bottom of the chain. But blue agave, so tequila, if you're buying a tequila, it has to be grown in a very specific region of Mexico. Very small, very specific region of Mexico. On top of that, the blue agave plant takes decades to grow. Like, some of these plants take 20, 30 years to grow before they're able to be harvested to turn into tequila. It's not like a fast product. It's not like corn. You grow it and then you harvest it and then you go and you distill it.
Even hops. I mean, hops is about 3 years. Wine grapes are about 3 years.
Hops will take 3 years before you start getting good ones. From there on, it's every season.
It's every season, yes.
Blue agave takes decades
to
grow a plant.
Once you cut it, I mean, once it's out, it's out.
It's crazy. It's not a very sustainable product. So from that perspective, it does make sense that tequila would be a more expensive product than something else. But it's not matching up with what's actually happening because of other reasons.
Yeah, that was what your note was referencing, was that the farmer's getting fucked.
And P. Diddy is Batman.
Yeah.
Where does our cocaine come from these days? Where is it actually coming from?
Well, I found it interesting that Mike said it's not coming from Colombia.
Me
now,
too.
But yeah, I know cocaine used to funnel through Miami. That was a documentary, Cocaine Cowboys.
Yeah.
You know, about how all that happened. And I don't. They said it's not coming from Colombia anymore.
I guess not.
This is news to me. Now, I not that I seek out cocaine news. I don't. I guess now I'm gonna look to Michael D. Morgan for my cocaine
He
news.
said it's coming from Mexico, which makes more sense. There's less like pain points there. There's less places
sure.
you have to. It should be easier to get it.
Sure.
Which would explain why all those people are coming over now. You know, all of those people that are coming from Mexico in the United States. You saw all the news recently, right?
No.
Oh yeah, they're declaring war.
No.
War on Mexico.
No, I have not. I just want to let everyone know that's not a joke. I do not.
Learned about the burrito law.
Yeah, I learned about the burrito law. Go and listen to the podcast or the actual YouTube video.
And then they kind of wrapped up the show talking about the fact that they now learned that they both are the lower level of high drunk.
Yeah,
But
so
not high drunk. They were the lower level of high drunk.
yeah. So they give out sort of numbers to this situation, and
Something
you know,
like,
you know what? I don't love labels. You know, not a fan
Sure.
of them. Not gonna. I'm gonna say that we're brothers. You know, in many of those spirits
Sure.
occasions. You know, but you know, okay,
go listen
okay.
to the episode.
okay,
See why they are the lower level of high drunk.
yeah, yeah.
Any-
And make yourself feel better.
yeah. Or make you very sad about the things that are happening in the world around
Either
you.
way, either way.
Either way, just whatever
And
works.
You know, if you tank a touch tunes every now and then, I mean, give you some
fine.
bonus points.
fine.
Like it's a subtraction from maybe
That's
your
right.
addition of drinking. I mean, whatever.
Anything else that you want to add to the recap of Brew Skies Booze news from 1/8/2024? I wrote 2023. It's not 2023 anymore.
It's not. It's 2024. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? If you didn't realize it, thank you and welcome to the new year. We're in 2024.
Now I am.
If you're a person that writes checks, make sure you're writing the 2024.
What's a check?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you. But no, I'm glad to see they're back. I think they are
Back.
back. I think they have a new energy. I think that this new year, new energy is going to be great. I'm looking forward to hearing about the further information about this book that they have said that they have sent to publishing or editing or final draft or whatever it is, and something is going to come out. So I'm looking forward to that. And please keep giving us this content. I love it, and if I love it, I think everyone else should love it.
I agree.
And
You're a good judge of show character.
well, thank you. I try to be. Whether or not I recap it well, I mean, everyone can discuss, and by everyone,
Your recaps are the best recaps that I listen to. That's
thank
by
you.
far.
Thank you. We're the number one
Definitely.
podcast that recaps craft beer podcasts and media in the Cincinnati area. And so,
I would go further. I think that you guys are the number one podcast that recaps craft beer podcasts anywhere.
thank you.
I think.
That coming from you, that's a huge compliment. And thank you also for joining me.
Of course.
You join us often, and it's with an open invitation. I want everyone to know, over the past year in 2023, Noam joined us quite a lot. That's because he had an open invitation, as do all the content creators. But Noam has shown up regularly and is a regular voice on this podcast. And Julia needed to take some personal time off, which is awesome. And thank you, Gnome, for being here to help me, just make this show happen for this week. We tossed around many ideas a couple of weeks ago because, I had family stuff last week, and she's got family stuff this week. We tossed around different ideas about not doing a show and then remote show and then other things. And you were here you were available to make this happen.
Of course.
So thank you.
Of course.
And so everybody go and follow everything that Gnome does.
Yep.
With Gnome Creative, but you got Cincy Brewcast. You got
Drinking with the Gnome.
Tell them about
Pints,
it.
all of that stuff. Just go to thegnarlygnome.com. Everything lives there. Everything kind of splinters off from that.
Yeah, and he's got so much stuff.
And there's plenty more coming, and plenty more that we're trying to keep going and trying to make bigger. And it's going to be good. This is going to be a good year.
And tell them about Monday.
Monday, live. We talked about it at the beginning of the show, didn't we? Or last show?
We did.
So we talked about it at some point.
But recap.
This coming Monday, depending on when you're listening to this, I know that podcast time is weird time, the 15th of January of 2024, you can hang out and watch a live show live, because we're going to add more live sprinkled on top of a live show, and hang out, and we're going to drink a bunch of beers and probably raise some hell, and everybody can heckle and make the show go all to hell. It's going to be fun.
And then the 16th is Kolsch Night.
And then the 16th is Kolsch Night, and that will also be fun.
That will be fun. So
you can nurse our hangovers.
Yes, correct.
How do people support you guys here on Truth Beer Podsequences?
So on Truth Beer and Podsequences, go to truthbeerpod.com. You can find us everywhere that you get your podcasts. Subscribe, follow, become a Patreon. What's really cool is that we most weeks, not once a month, not once every 2 months, not every now and then, almost every week, we give you the full unedited, except for pauses. We give you the full unedited podcast,
right,
which gives you many, many, many minutes. It could be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever. Extra content.
An hour and 33.
It gives you extra content. It's where my computer is buffering, meaning my head, to try and come up with an option D for Julia's surprise ABCs.
Damn.
Or for whatever it is, our offshoots and the strange rabbit holes that we go down, and then you get that almost every week. And then we have bonus content and videos. We try to do videos and all that stuff. Every now and then we go live. It's just get on there and get with us, hang with us, and support whatever it is we're doing. But even more importantly than that, support the podcast and the community that we're talking about, because this community is a vast and just ever-changing community. And we, unlike other craft beer cities, not only are we not a flyover city, people have to come to Cincinnati if they love craft beer. And if they want to find out what's happening, they end up finding the Gnarly Gnomes page, and hopefully they end up finding ours, so that we tell you about the beer events, and then we tell you, in conjunction, you listen to the different craft beer stuff, and we help you weed through what you want to hear, where you want to go, and what you want to experience. And so thank you to everyone. 2024 is going to be a great year. Thank you, Gnome.
Of course.
Very strange doing this without Julia.
It is.
But Julia is doing good family stuff, and cheers to a fantastic show in 2024. Thank you.
Cheers, and cheers to Julia. Thank you for weeding through this editing. We're sorry about that point where we both took our pants off and ran around the room.
Yeah. There's dongs everywhere.
Dongs. All the dongs. See you guys later.
See ya.
All right, we're recording.
Awesome.
We also we have tequila.
Hello, Julia. You know what it is? It's Tequila Tuesday.
You haven't had the joy of listening to this episode yet, but we talked about how P. Diddy makes tequila after he was Batman, and so we got some of his tequila.
Well, so you got some of his tequila.
Yeah, Batman's tequila.
So wait a second.
See, now she's confused. It's Batman's tequila.
You just put money into the Batman's pocket?
Batman, yeah.
Well, it's.
Oh my gosh.
We put it into higher gravities. They already bought the bottle.
Oh,
that money's
this is
spent.
true.
That money's
this is
spent.
true.
So what we did is we
You
went
are
ahead.
correct.
We're helping higher gravity deplete the actual quantity.
We're also pretty certain it's not actually P. Diddy's tequila. We think it's actually the guy from ER, but we're not.
Remember the guy from ER?
But now we're all confused because we don't know who Batman actually is.
Who's from like Newport or something? I don't know.
It's Elizabethtown, right?
Somewhere in northern Kentucky.
His dad used to be like
exactly
a DA or something for.
And his mom was big into fundraising and the Ruth Lyons Foundation and all that. Yeah. I know the guy.
All right, we're gonna drink this with you. All right.
Cheers,
Marco.
cheers, Julia. Cheers.
Cheers.
Smells good.
Smells like alcohol and vanilla.
It's buttery, like
Okay.
a good
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Marco, you sip. Why talk?
So,
It smells
yes.
like a dessert.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
How's it
Yeah.
taste?
Yeah. Oh, it tastes like butt cheeks on the tongue. I mean, it tastes like like if I could have some sexy butt cheeks, that would
Oh
be
my goodness.
the way it tastes.
I don't get the butt cheeks, but I definitely get dong
No.
cookies.
Dong cookies. Yeah. Well, I was going more for butt cheeks, or maybe. Hold on a
Okay.
second.
I mean, Julia wrote the notes for the events.
I did. I wrote all the notes for the tasting event.
I'll tell you
and
what. I
everything,
taste a
which
lot
I
of
guess
butt
that's what
cheeks.
this is.
So if
Tastes
we
like
say
butt
dong
cheeks.
cookies, if I say dong cookies, do you know what we're talking about?
It tastes like ass.
No.
No,
Ignore that
Julia.
part.
There is an
No?
event.
There's an event coming up.
You.
Which one?
Dong
Like,
cookies.
Oh god.
I'm sure this is a copy and paste sort of situation.
I don't
They
know how you
are,
could.
but I'm also.
I don't know how you could
but I'm also
copy
dry-
and paste without noticing that it's a dong cookie event.
But I'm also driving, so it's one of those. My attention isn't
We're distracting you.
100% focused on.
And you're on the west side. You got to make and the. I mean,
Can't
and
hit the cars on the side of the road.
The weather's been shitty, so you got to make sure
Exactly.
you don't take off anybody's rearview mirror.
Exactly. Oh, the 21 and up X-rated cookies at Alexandria.
There we
Correct.
go.
There we go. Ding, 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 ding. Or should I say, dong, 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 dong.
Dong dong dong.
So you see, this was basically another like trivia kind of thing, and I panicked. That's what happened.
It is
I remember
now.
writing that down, going, "Man, we're gonna have fun with this
Yeah,
one." But
now my new favorite event that has ever been planned at any tap room in the world is dong cookies at Alexandria.
X-rated cookie decorating.
Yeah.
There's
I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to go.
There's also based off the fact that there's a lot of places doing like women events and things like that. I floated the idea of a beginner's dominatrix class.
I mean, yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I mean I won't go,
Why
but
not?
but I mean it could happen.
It could. It could. You never know. Maybe at a brewery.
You never
maybe
know.
Maybe somewhere where alcohol is not involved, so we know that consent is all completely.
I don't know that I
legit.
could.
I don't know.
I don't know that I could. I couldn't take part in being spanked or spanking another person if alcohol was not involved.
Yeah, I mean,
Not gonna happen.
not speaking from experience,
fair point.
just thinking about it.
Just in general.
Yeah, just
Oh
in
my
general.
goodness.
Every
Oh my goodness.
Every time Marco wants to spank me, I make him get me some Batman tequila first.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
I'm giving myself away right now.
yeah.
So.
And he has a safe word.
I do. It's nipple
well,
Batman.
Yeah, as we all should. Yeah. So what other fun stuff did you guys talk about today? And how much
guillotines.
editing am I going to have to do?
I don't think it's too bad. You don't have to do that much. We only took
you don't have
one or
to
two
do
breaks.
anything. You could just post it.
True.
But
Very true.
But smarter minds.
We talked about
which you are.
Talked about
smarter
guillotines.
mind.
We talked about jerking off. We talked about what else? What else came up?
Did you talk about Brett's amazing effing bird sweatshirt?
No, we didn't.
Nope. Didn't at all.
Nope. Or his hair. We did not talk about Brett's hair. We did talk about El Sushi.
Yeah, I think we talked about El Sushi more than anything else.
That was so good.
And probably about the fact that they make the best cocktails that they can make are hold on. I actually forgot to bring my notebook, so Josh sent me pictures just to make sure. I did. And apparently, where is this? They can make any cocktail except for the one you want.
Yep, we did talk about that.
Is that accurate? Nice.
And then I had 3 different bartenders, even though I was the only person in the restaurant at the time. Yeah.
That's amazing. They're like, we're still new. This guy's going to be our test subject.
Yeah,
Let's see who can kind of. Good Lord.
I think
I don't know why I couldn't connect to the Bluetooth.
I'm
Maybe because it was GNOME was already connected.
I wasn't connected. I had to connect. But it connected right away when I clicked on it.
Because I know, Marco, you always have trouble connecting your phone to the Bluetooth.
Yeah, I think it's a Marco problem.
It's an old guy thing. It's an old guy thing. Is Josh with you?
I just put into the parking lot, my driveway. Jesus Christ, I don't know what's happening anymore.
You pulled into your actual driveway? You don't park in the street?
Yeah. No,
I use my driveway.
Julia uses the driveway.
A rebel.
I'm not an asshole. No, Josh is in the house, so I don't know if he even knows that I'm here yet. So, because I'm still in the car, so I don't.
What's for dinner?
Accidentally disconnect. I'm probably just gonna make ramen or something. I don't know.
Boring.
I know.
You mean from scratch?
It's late. It's late. It's been
I
a long
stand
day.
corrected.
I
That's
just want
not
something
boring.
fast and
You make it from scratch. You get hard boil an egg in there or something? Soft boil an egg or what?
It's been a very long day, so I'm just looking for something just quick that I can just not really think about.
Well, maybe he's got dinner waiting for you.
Have you plopped an egg
true.
in ramen just to have the egg in ramen?
I have done that with instant ramen. I've put an egg in there.
Yeah. Soft boiled.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a sous vide for Christmas, and I'm so excited to try eggs for the first time.
Damn it, I'm so
excited.
jealous.
Nice.
I'm so jealous.
It's awesome.
I don't get jealous a lot, actually. But I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right.
We'll come over sometime.
You have a Traeger. I'm not jealous.
You can eat eggs and steak with me.
Well, there you go. Give her some of that
we will.
old Oktoberfest beer. Yeah.
There's
we'll
still a lot of old
over.
Oktoberfest
Marco,
beer.
there you go.
Yeah, we'll come over.
You still got to do the boot.
Yeah,
The cuvee.
It's coming.
Year-old Oktoberfest.
It's coming.
Nice. Did either of you count anything for either episode?
No. Shit. No, didn't even think about that.
Come on.
Yeah, didn't do the sip count.
No.
Didn't give him
Alright.
multiple choice. None of that stuff. That's your thing.
All right.
I don't have a
Do
clicker.
you want some counts?
Yeah, kind of do.
Sure. Will you have them
Wait,
on
wait,
you?
wait.
What, do you just
Oh,
carry
yeah,
them with
of
you?
course.
All right.
No, I told you. I had Josh send me pictures of my notes.
We just
Go ahead,
realized here on Truth Beer Consequences that neither one of us are capable of doing anything, so we had to call Julia and get this week's sip count. That's what we're doing. Right? Is it a sip count? What are we counting?
Yeah, what are we
So
counting?
it is a sip count for Brew Skies Booze News.
Okay. Very
And
good.
then for the weekly pint, I counted the number of sips, the number of sniffs, and the number of indicated burp. Because
Oh, okay.
why the hell not?
All right.
What else am I going to do with my time?
Okay.
So, which did you recap first, or which count do you want first? Gnomes or Brew
Well,
Skies?
you're the one that has to edit it together, so we don't really care. But we did my show first, and then went to Brew Skies.
All right. So for the weekly pint episode 198, there were 3 sips.
Okay.
There were 3 sniffs, so the times you check the aromas of the beer, there were 3 of those. And then there were 7 I say indicated burps because you don't really burp out loud, but you do the, like, your fist to your chest where you indicate there's exactly. It was either a hiccup or a burp. There were 7 of those.
Oh, okay.
I added on I added on the 2 that Sean White put into the chat. Shout out to Sean. So,
Shout out to Sean.
Again, I had some time this morning while I was waiting for stuff to happen. So there were 13 total countables in this episode.
Wow.
Which is 26 ounces or 1.625 ounces.
That's
or pints, whatever.
That's impressive.
That's not bad.
That's respectable.
Okay.
Exactly. And then, of course, as I did that, I'm like, man, maybe I should count the number of times you cough. And I'm like, nope, not doing it.
No.
You feeling all right, though?
I'm fine.
Okay, good.
We heard some coughs. Want to make sure.
Yeah.
And then for Brew Skies Booze News, there were a total of 54 sips.
Oh, man.
Wow.
That blew me away.
Holy
108
shit.
ounces.
Yes.
6.75 pints.
Yes.
They were doing great.
At one point, I did notice Brett would like take a little sip and then stare at the camera, and then take another sip,
Yes.
and then stare at the camera.
Right. Like, normally he would kind of take a sip and then, like, as he was sipping, then sort of look at the camera, but now it's definitely much more
Yeah, it's more.
I feel like.
It's absolutely
so it's
more like a blue steel thing where he sips and he, gives a blue seal. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
they're trying to get
yeah.
picked up by bigger networks or
course.
something. So
Well,
he's got to give the blue steel.
Maybe they should work with Noah and Blake on whatever network they're going to be on and try to get to be part of their team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on Thirsty
Yeah.
Thursday yesterday.
Nice.
Well,
Looking forward to
Thursday.
that coming out.
I was on Thirsty Thursday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Air quotes Thursday, yes. So wait, what? So they don't actually record on the day that they say that they're recording?
That's what
No,
I
it's on
said.
Thursday. No, it's on Thursday.
Who does
sure.
that? Oh, man. Well, I am going to go inside and get some food and decompress from the day.
Yeah.
But thank you both so much for still doing this.
Of course.
Of
I
course.
appreciate you both an incredible amount. And I'm going to go inside. I'm going to have a beer while you guys enjoy your tequila.
Hell yeah, Julia. Do that and
Hell yeah.
tell Josh we said hi, and of course,
Will do.
We're glad to hear things are going well. So
Yeah. You guys are the absolute best.
good to talk to you, Julia.
Likewise. Have a good rest of the night, guys. Get home safe, and
Thank you.
I'll at least see you on Monday
Yep. I'll be there.
at West Side.
I haven't ruled it out, but it's more it's more no than yes, but I haven't ruled it out. I would like to. It's definitely something I would like to go to.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, if I see you Monday, that'll be awesome. If not, Marco, I'll see you on Tuesday. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you again, and cheers.
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 Bye.
Bye.